Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
January is here and we are fast approaching WrestleMania season. Royal Rumble and the road to WrestleMania are around the corner, so the time to dilly-dally is past us. If you want to experience WrestleMania live, and who doesn't, let's be honest, you deserve it. The best and really the only way to do it is with All Aussie Travellers. All Aussie Travellers are new to the wrestling travel package game, but they are veterans at travel, and they have put together a package that cannot be beaten. For less than $7,500, All Aussie Travellers are going to send you to New York, New York, with return flights, airport transfers, full accommodation, and tickets to the WWE Hall of Fame, NXT pre-show party, NXT TakeOver, WrestleMania, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, and more. The coolest part about these packages is that for NXT TakeOver, Raw, and SmackDown, you are going to be seated in your own private VIP suite, normally not available to the public, but All Aussie Travellers have you covered, man. They got this locked down. It has its own bar, it has its own bathroom access, and all the luxuries that a VIP box comes with, not least of which, of course, an incredible view for everything happening in the ring. All of this for under $7,500. They're practically giving these packages away, man. You'd be crazy not to check it out. So head over to All Aussie Travellers on Facebook. The link is in the show notes. And tell them that the B Plus sent you. And let's go watch WrestleMania in style. Hey guys, just a reminder, if you want to hear all of these wonderful B Plus podcast episodes completely ad-free, make sure you head over to Patreon or Podbean, where we are the featured podcast this week. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month up to $10 a month, where anything you want to help us with, it really helps out. It's going to help us grow the site. It's going to help us redesign some things, and everything that we get through this and through the advertising as well is all going straight back into the podcast so that we can get Aussie Graps out there for the rest of the world to hear about, for the rest of the world to see, so we can grow this mission of watch global, support local, and build indie wrestling. So if you want to be a part of that and get some really cool rewards like call-in shows, bonus episodes, ad-free like I mentioned, then head over to patreon.com/thebplus and subscribe today.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, arm drag.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two, arm bar.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Dummy.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, Lamas covers, three-handle family credential.
Mamma mia!
And now, Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin.
Number 4, armbar.
I will never retire.
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
All right, fellow B Plus players, welcome to the B Plus Podcast. I'm your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Thursday. You know what that means. It's bonus episode time, which leading into a weekend of huge Australian wrestling shows can only mean one thing. We're going to do some previews. Joining me right now to break down the card, well, what we know of the card for MCW Uprising, which takes place on the 2nd of February. Jamie Apps from Jamie Apps Media and Last Word on Pro Wrestling. How are you, Jamie?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, man, I am great. I'm sweating my ass off in this office now that I've had to turn the fan off.
It's very warm.
Like, I turned the fan off when we connected the call just a couple of minutes ago, and I am already sweating. So this is going to be a fun... Let's do this chat. 10 minutes. Let's do it. There's not a lot announced for the card for this weekend.
No, they have seemed to have left it very late, which has made it difficult to get ready for this interview, really.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've got a couple of matches to talk about, because I know you were saying that you had The written preview and stuff is already going up as well. And yeah, it's a little light because we presume there's going to be more matches announced because at the moment we have 4 matches announced and a contract signing. But we can speculate on some of the people who aren't announced. Now, the big one has to be Lockie Hendricks with his farewell tour. He's gotten the call from Uncle Paul.
He has. I'm sure he'll be showing up somewhere, whether that's with
Elliot Sexton.
That's the one. Yes, I imagine he'll be showing up possibly with Elliot Sexton since he was in the most recent episode of the farewell tour videos.
Yes, and Elliot Sexton has also been rumored to be signed with NXT proper, as has Jonah Rock. Jonah Rock has his last match over in Rampage on the same night. Could we see Elliot Sexton with his last match? They haven't, I don't know, there's been less about Elliot Sexton signing than there has been about Jonah signing. So I don't know what's going on there, but it would be cool to see that interaction of someone who we're pretty sure is actually going compared to someone who is saying that they're going, but it's an interesting situation.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the most logical pairing for those two, but I'm not sure what's happening there.
Yeah, well, given the way that Elliot Sexton is prone to just throwing people around, I think that it would be a fantastic pairing. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Yeah, the front row might want to have some catching gloves on for that.
Yeah, and the other glaring omission is the new tag team champions, Loose and Reckless. Are they going to have a defense? Are they going to have an exhibition match? Maybe a title celebration? Who knows? The Brat Pack have been pretty silent since losing the titles.
Yeah, I was surprised that neither of those teams were announced for any sort of follow-up based on what happened last month.
Yeah, so I know that Adam Brooks is in town here in Adelaide for Riot City on Friday night, but you got to imagine that he's going to be booked at the MCW show because MCW is kind of his home.
Yes, of course.
So, and Dowie, I mean, it's not an MCW show without a Dowie appearance, so they've got to do something. Maybe they'll do something with Lockie Hendricks. Who knows?
Yeah, or either that or possibly the new tag team Tyson and Jet after their performance last month with Robbie Eagles.
Yes, they've been getting a bit of hype. They also had a good match at Wrestle Rock as well, which is part of the whole MCW family.
Yeah, and then after MCW last month, they sort of did the video where they announced that they were going to be working together into the future, so we'll see where they show up on the card as well.
Yeah, that's a good point as well, because there's a lot of hype around them, and you got to think Melbourne City Wrestling are going to want to keep that going. But let's get to the things we know. Indy Hartwell versus Avery. This one has been building for a while now. How do you see this one going down?
I imagine this is going to be pretty bitter and vicious. They've been niggling away at each other for a few months now, so it'll be nice for them to finally get their hands on each other one-on-one. Yeah,
it is. It's going to be good to see them finally actually lock horns. You got to think we're gonna see the Indy roll out, and it's more important for her to argue with the fans and this sort of thing. This is the most curious thing about this match, though, is who's the face here?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I imagine it's Avery at the moment, but then when she's with the Brat Pack, she's one of the most vicious, evil people in the company.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of fans really love Avery and have grown to enjoy Avery's performances, but she's still kind of the bad guy. Like I don't know how. I mean, she comes out and she spits on people and
it hasn't changed anything. It's just the response has changed.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, and I think that I don't know. I'm gonna go way off the wall here. I have no idea what her schedule looks like and whether she's still in Europe or what. But I'm gonna say Kellyanne returns, and it doesn't matter who the face is because she returns and destroys them both.
That's an interesting call. I didn't even think of that, but that would
just completely out of left field. I don't think it's actually going to happen, but because I like there to be a strong face and a strong heel going against each other. That's just me.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's hard to have two people that just aren't very likable at all attacking each other.
Yeah. I do think the crowd will turn Avery face if the match just goes ahead as a full on match. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a good match because these are two of the best up and coming female talents in the country, best up and coming talents in the country, really. And I'm looking forward to seeing it when it becomes available.
Definitely, and I imagine the winner of this sort of is in prime position for a possible MCW Women's Championship further down the line.
Yeah, I'd seen a lot of scuttlebutt that maybe these two would build their feud a little longer and potentially if MCW are going to bring a women's title in, this is the feud to do it in. But they're having their first match here. I don't think this will end their story though. I think this is just chapter 1.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I would not be surprised to see these two lock horns over a women's championship in the future. I've got some heat with some of the MCW fans for not mentioning it last time when we were talking about the belts because we'll get to it with the Gino and Slex situation. But yes, a women's championship in Melbourne City Wrestling is absolutely something I wholeheartedly support. There are reasons that they haven't done it in the past, but with the Glow in real life stuff that they're doing, which just got announced as well, show 3 for that is coming up. With all of that stuff going on, I think that they're primed for a women's championship at this point.
Yeah, they definitely have enough talent to do it now.
Yeah, the talent pool is deep across Australia. So, looking forward to seeing what happens there. And then we move on. We have Richie Taylor, Smash Mouth Richie Taylor, versus perhaps the hardest hitting man in Melbourne City Wrestling, Mike Burr.
Yeah, these two are probably somebody's going to die in this match, I think. They're both going to be hitting each other as hard as possible.
So there's not a lot of story going into this match that I'm aware of. But you do have two of the hardest hitting blokes in town, so I don't think you really need much story. This is just going to be a fight, and they're just going to get in there and knock the shit out of each other.
Yeah, and both coming off losses recently. I think one of them needs to get a decisive victory and get their path back on track.
Yeah, put themselves in the W column. Yep. Who would you pick for this one if you have to pick a winner?
I think Richie Taylor. He's just come into the company. He needs that decent win to get things rolling, move forward for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I see Richie Taylor is someone with huge upside, man. Every time I see him come out, I can't help but think, like with the music and just his whole getup and everything and his look and his wrestling style as well, I feel like he would be super over in Progress.
Definitely. He's the soccer hooligan type look.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why, but every time I see him, I think that and love the entrance because he comes out to Living End, and so it's just I dig every part about it. So I'm fully behind Richie Taylor on this one as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we move on. Now this one is my pick. I mean, it's hard to go beyond the main event for match of the night, but this one, I think a lot of people are not fully aware of how good J.K. Moody is. So J.K. Moody. He's put out a video challenging Melbourne City Wrestling to pick their poison and choose an opponent for him. And they've chosen the mad Mikey Nicholls in his return.
Yeah, I was a little bit shocked by this pairing because it was two sort of open challenges being combined. But I think J.K. Moody is primed for a huge year in 2019, so it's perfect pairing to get his year rolling.
Yeah, definitely a big one. I'm all in left field tonight. I'm all in left field. I think J.K. Moody picks up a shock victory over the returning Mikey Nicholls.
Yes, I agree with you on that one.
I'm calling it, man. I'm calling it. He's got to pick up the victory here. It's going to start his year with a bang. That promo already started it with a bang. Like, it was well edited and everything, but I'm not a film person, so it's not about that. But just his whole thing of his idea of him being the counter wrestler, right? If you throw me against a high flyer, I'll pick him out of the sky. I'll slam him on his head. You give me a technical wizard, I'll hit him so hard he can't speak, right? Like, he's coming to take over the country. What did he say? Now Moody conquers, right?
Yes.
That needs to trend on Saturday night. Now Moody conquers. I'm really looking forward to this match. I'm looking for it to steal the show.
Yes, I love everything about that character. The antidote is brilliant.
Yeah, it's a brilliant character. He actually works in a pharmacy.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, kayfabe breaker. Is it the mask? And I'm pretty sure it was on my interview. I hope it was on the interview. I hope it wasn't just banter before we started. I can't remember. But either way, so the whole antidote gimmick, I love it. It's fun. Moving on. We won't get to the main event yet because there is, of course, the thing that I thought would be the main event until I realized it's not actually a match. It's just a contract signing Gino Gambino, Slex, the MCW World Heavyweight Champion, which still feels weird because it's Melbourne City Wrestling. Like, am I the only one who feels like that's kind of like your title for your company is so regional, but you have a world champion?
Yeah, but then I guess Progress is the world champion as well. It's all a matter of, has it been defended in multiple countries?
Yeah, no, I know, but it just sounds weird saying Melbourne City Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion.
It does sound a little strange, but
because I understand the concept, and it's great. I love it. I love that they've gone with the world title. I thought that there needed to be a few more continents, but I don't know. You know, it's wrestling. It is what it is. But
feel free to argue this point with Gino at some point.
I absolutely will never do that. That is not going to happen. In fact, just me saying it on the podcast here has me scared of the next time I see him at a show. So unless it's a show with Mr. Juicy, not with Gino, let's not get into it. Gino and Slex, of course, the Inter-Commonwealth champion. Both of these titles, honestly, do we expect this to become a merger match?
Well, it is a winner-takes-all match at the next show, so I'm not sure. Are they going to merge the titles, or is somebody going to have two matches moving forward into the future every night?
Well, that's the thing, right? Oh man, what a gimmick that would be for Slex. Like if he was to take the title and be like, I'm such a workhorse, I'm not going to give you one match of the night every night. I'm going to give you two. I'm going to defend both titles. That'd be insane.
Oh, it'd be incredible, but can he keep up that pace? Like, his matches
can anyone keep up that pace?
Hugely competitive. Then he's never had, like, I don't think I've ever seen him have a quick 5-minute match or anything. So two minutes a night would be brutal.
But the big question, of course, they're doing the contract signing now. Whether it becomes a merger and the two titles become one world title, which to me makes sense because under Slex especially, but even before that with Robbie and Adam Brooks, the Intercommonwealth title has really become a second heavyweight title for these guys. Like it's just as prestigious.
Yes, definitely. It's easily up there right now.
Yeah, so having a merger makes sense to me and just having it become the one world title. But the big question, of course, it's a contract signing. Does a table get broken?
Yes, definitely. I don't think.
And who goes through the table? That's the question.
I'm going to say neither of them. It'll be Gino's manager.
Right. Walker.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to tip that one.
Yeah, man. See, I went into it thinking, Slex will eat the table and Gino will stand tall. But no, I like that. I'm a fan of that. Yeah. Then we move on.
Away, stand at the top of the ramp while Sebastian Walker gets destroyed through a table.
Yeah, I can feel that. Absolutely. That would, and oh man, the catharsis of that, because the crowd absolutely hate Walker. He is probably the most hated man in Melbourne City Wrestling.
Yes, and it could eliminate him from the match to give Slex a better chance next month.
Yeah, which we've seen him be the deciding factor in so many. Like, I was there for that Robbie Eagles match, and everyone thought Robbie had it won. You were there as well. Everyone thought the place exploded until we realized that Seb had pulled the ref out, and the ref didn't count the 3, and the ref didn't see the tap. Sorry. Yeah. So the ref didn't see the tap. And it was, the place just exploded against him. And so, to see him get his comeuppance and then be removed from the equation would be very fitting.
Yes.
Yeah. But the main event, two of the fastest rising, two of the, you don't want to call them overnight sensations because they've been working at this for a while and they've been putting in the hard yards, but two of the best up-and-coming talents in this country, not long for this country. They're heading overseas, going to New Zealand to Fale Dojo to train with Tox Fale over there. You got to imagine New Japan's on the horizon for them as well. The Phillip brothers, one-on-one in the main event. First time main eventing for these guys. I'm looking forward to this one.
This could easily steal the night, even though it is the main event, which it probably should do. But these two are going to be hard to beat, I think.
You got to imagine Tome's going in looking to kick the leg out of the leg again.
Yeah, did you notice they slightly fixed that in the promo video?
I did not actually. I watched the promo video, but I've been preparing for a million shows at once, so it's been a really big week with like NXT and Royal Rumble and all these things happening, and then we've got like 4 major shows this weekend as well for us to cover. So it's been a huge week. I didn't really. I have to say my attention to detail may have slipped. They fixed it.
They cut it before he said kick the leg out of the leg. They dropped the second leg.
I love it. Kicking the leg out of the leg. It's the new. It should become the new expression. Lean into it. Lean into it, guys.
It's the new journalism.
But yeah, no. Tome and Stevie, like these two would have been wrestling since they were very small children. You know.
Yeah, this is definitely a lifelong rivalry that's coming to a head this weekend.
Yeah, and so you got to think that the quality of the match. I know that they have wrestled each other plenty of times in the past elsewhere, but to see them headlining an MCW show before they head overseas, it's well deserved, it's well earned, and but I can't pick a winner on this one.
No, neither can I. I have no idea which brother comes out on top here. Will it be proven that Stevie is better, or will Tome finally break that trend?
Yeah, I'm right on the fence. I feel like I want Tome to overcome, because with Stevie's promo at the last show about, I always had the better report card, but I didn't rub that into you. I picked this up quicker than you, but I didn't rub that in. And, but I'm better than you. Like, that to me was a heel promo, and I kind of want to see Tome overcome that and get his comeuppance. But Tome is the heel.
Yeah,
it's confusing.
Tome also, backstabbed his own brother to kick this all off. So
yeah, to in the tag title match, and Tome, of course, has always been kind of slimy, underhanded. I believe greasy is the word that the MCW faithful use.
They love calling him the greasy brother.
so yeah, it's one of those situations where, like, normally I would want to root for Stevie because Stevie's better. But just after that promo, I feel like I don't want to root for him because you were rubbing it in. Otherwise, why'd you bring it up?
I have no idea who's going to win this one, but I'm imagining it's going to be a great match either way.
It is. It's going to be a phenomenal match. It's going to close out the show in style. I'm really looking forward to this one coming up on demand. Hopefully, Melbourne City Wrestling are really quick with their turnaround on demand, generally speaking. So I'm looking forward to this one. Are you attending the show, or are you an on-demand viewer for this one like
I'll
me?
be on demand for this one, trying to save money again. So
yeah, no, I understand the feeling. So thanks a lot for joining me to break it down, Jamie. It's a bit of a short one today because, of course, we don't know everything that's going to happen. Oh, there is one more point before we go. TMDK. We have 3 shows across 3 different states, all of which TMDK are major players in. Can we expect some kind of, announcement, some kind of cross-show angle kicking off here? Because it's unusual for all 3 of these places, EPW, Wrestle Rampage, and Melbourne City Wrestling, to run on the same night. Do you see anything there, or is this just conspiracy Greg talking?
I haven't thought of it, but it does make sense that something would happen with so many shows on at the exact same time. I'm not sure.
I can't for the life of me think of what it could be, but I feel like TMDK have something to do, because, they even tweeted about it. They sent out a post on Facebook and all that, it's a big weekend for TMDK because you've got, of course, Mikey Nicholls returning to Melbourne City Wrestling, and we've speculated that Elliot Sexton will be there, but there's no announcement as of yet. You also have in Rampage Jonah Rock's last match, and over in EPW, the Untouchables are going for gold. So it's a big night.
Yeah, they have representation in every major company now too. So
yeah, so just a little bit there for people to stew on, to think, it just in case something does happen. Conspiracy Greg was here. Conspiracy Greg had the scoop theory gut feeling thing, and if nothing happened, then we'll forget I ever said it, and we'll move on with our lives. Where can people find you, Jamie?
Everything is at Jamie Apps Media now. Nice and easy.
Nice and easy, man. I wish I could do that. I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at the Greg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B Plus Wrestling on Twitter. Though the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter, because wrestling wouldn't fit. The B Plus Wrestling everywhere else except for Patreon. It's just patreon.com/the B Plus. Get around it, like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do, and thank you so much for listening.
Hold one. Arm drag.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two. Arm bar.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Dummy. Hold three. The moss covered. Three handle family credential.